Okay, students. We talked about working on calculations of doing things like the square root of -16, and depending on your setting, it'll come back as unreal. But if you go to the home, and we've just been working in the 6 options here in the top, but there's actually a whole nother row of options down here. Sequences, Python. Python's a computer programming language. And settings. I go to settings, click OK. And if you look down, there is, well, first, angle measures. You can have degrees, radians, or gradians. Um, Remember in geometry, this was a big deal. Uh, I'm going to leave it on degrees for now. And you can see up in the top, in the yellow there in the settings, it says DEG. That stands for degrees. My bet is if you were to change it to radians, it would change it to rad. But anyways, you can scroll down here and go to my complex format, click OK, and I can change it to Cartesian, which is one of the forms of complex formats that we're used to. There's other forms like polar, but we're not going to use that right now. I'm going to change that to Cartesian. Okay. And now when I go back to the home, I can go to my calculation, and the same exact thing I typed in before, I now can type it in, and I will get the uh, complex root. Just one of them, obviously, but hey, that's pretty nice. My bet is if we even do something real nice, like 2 minus the square root of -16 divided by, oops, boop, 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 get outside of the root, then close it, and then hit divide. Let's do 4 there. If I execute that, yeah, it even reduces that down into fractional form. Pretty cool stuff. Another setting that you might want to pay attention to, particularly if you're using this with a chemistry class, go down to settings here, go on over, and you can change the result format from decimal to scientific. And you can set the number of significant figures. So if you know, like for one, like your teacher always chooses three significant figures, you can do that. Then set it on scientific. Now what's going to happen is when you do your calculations, let's do 130 or 30,000. Oh man, it's not taking my. Let's add some zeros on there. Divided by 2 and execute that. You can see it puts it in well, the actual form, and then on the right hand side there is a shorthand for the scientific form, 1.5 times e to the 7. Significant figures didn't seem to actually take there, so let me try something here. 1 divided by 3, 1/3, 3.33 times e to the -1. Okay, so that one has significant figures. Maybe it dropped the sig figs for the last one because it would have been 1.50, and that would have been your 3 significant figures. In chemistry, of course, you'd write that 0, but the calculator doesn't like to end in zeros, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to go back home, go back to those settings. I'm going to take it off of scientific, put it back on decimal, and I'll just, I'm going to leave it at 5 here. A good bit, but not everything. Okay, and now it's set the way I want it. It will do complex roots, and it will um, uh, round things just to 5 decimal places. I don't need all of them. One thing I'm going to do, show you a couple things, and this is where I found out how to change it. If you notice, there's a user manual. You can browse the user manual, and it gives you all kinds of different things. Like, let's say you want to learn about how to do different calculations, and it'll give you a bunch of information in there. Um, Let me get out full screen for this. Press back there. Back again. Also, if you have a PC, I don't think the emulator is going to work on Chromebooks, but you can try. But you can download the emulator. It looks like it's showing up in a zip file. Oh, it just opens it up as a HTML document and a JavaScript file. So that might actually work on the Chromebook. I'm not sure though, but maybe I'll have to test that theory out. But then it would be nice because then it would actually save what you're working on. But anyways, that's how you change some settings on the NumWorks calculator. I hope you find that useful.